When playing games or reading a high intense battle, do you ever just sit back and think to yourself, what's the next move here? Do we attack? Do we defend? Or is there something else here that I'm missing completely? Well, I know for a fact I do it a lot. In fact, I kind of view it as a puzzle of sorts. You see, sometimes I get ahead of myself here and think of the next move that I get caught off guard when a player or character does something that I wasn't even thinking about. It's both a fun learning experience as well as a frustrating thing at times. Like, yes, it's amazing that you pulled something from your bag of tricks that threw me off guard, but also, why didn't I think of that? Or how did I not see that coming? Am I stupid? Was I cocky? Or is it something I just overlooked? If anyone agrees with the first two statements, I will hit you. All these things come into my head when I look at things this sort of way. Recently, I have been getting into Magic the Gathering during this Final Fantasy craze. Yes, I know, it's the set everyone is talking about for many different reasons. From both the great and amazing cards that are out in this set, to the product just being so dang expensive. It's all the rage right now. My cousin got me a commander deck for my birthday because whenever I would visit him, he wanted to play Magic. And since I knew nothing of it, he taught me how to play, while letting me use his decks, while showcasing me the proper way to use them. It has reawakened something in me because when I was younger, I loved playing Yu-Gi-Oh! More so the video games because no one in my area really played the physical card game, at least for me as a kid, and my grandparents would most definitely not let me hang out with people near 3 to 4 times my age. It was always so fun to build decks, in my opinion, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, and try to make them as overpowered as possible. My favorite Tag Force deck that I ever got to build was the Lightsworn decks. This took me a while to find the name, so I'm hoping that this is the proper one, but the cards look familiar. It was my favorite deck because of its abilities. They all triggered off losing cards in my deck, and then whenever they get discarded, they would re-trigger abilities or really put your opponent in a chokehold. Or it would power me up too. It was either or, really. But I had a blast using it. Even though I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, it does hold a special place in my heart for all the fun times I had with it, especially the games and the TV shows. Magic has also brought this feeling back in a lot of ways. Of course, the basics are hard to understand and hard to get over, because to be fair, I don't think no matter how long you have been playing Magic, you probably do agree with me on that it is a challenging thing to learn at first. But once you get over that hurdle, it opens up a ton of possibilities, and it's actually very easy once you do. I mainly have done Commander because, well, my cousin's the one who taught me Commander, and it's the only format I really know at this time. But for me personally, it's more of like a chessboard, or just one really big puzzle. I love to build around a commander and use the deck to my commander's abilities, but always keeping things safe just in case. For example, the gameplay I'm going to be showing you is a deck I hope to build in the future with physical cards, and it's with the one and only Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. For the veterans of the game, I know what I'm about to say may be cringeworthy or very stupid, but please just try to hear me out, okay? I do think Tifa has potential to be a very strong card given the right set of circumstances. The gameplay I'm showing is just me getting really lucky the night I was recording, but it kindly highlights what I think her true potential is as a card. The deck is mainly built around the fact that every time a land enters the field, Tifa's power level doubles. So what is the strategy here? Well, first is to get Tifa out onto the field very early, because the more the game goes on, the harder it is to make her pretty much useful. Also, everything in the deck is to 1. Get more lands out per turn, 2. Increase Tifa's base level and power early, so when a land enters, her power is just even more stronger than what it normally would be. For example, having a few cards in this deck that just pump out 1/1 counters onto her whenever a land plays just makes her very powerful very quickly. I also have some backup plans in case things do go south. However, the thing of it is, this deck has some pretty big holes to it. For example, the one I mentioned, if the game extends for a long period of time, she's basically almost rendered pointless to have out there. And that's a huge if, I didn't manage to draw cards that really boost her early on. This really leads to opponents using whatever they have on me and easily getting a win over me no matter what they may try. The second big glaring problem this deck does have is that it doesn't really counter a lot of things, since its main focus is just to power up Tifa very early on, and hopefully win the game very early as well. Like if Tifa got wiped a few times and stuff, with her having to cost more to bring her out every time she got wiped, and I have no counter for it, it's just like, what's the point of this deck anymore at that point? I have taken steps in different areas in this deck to try and combat these issues by adding cards that are 1. Boost counters to the point where I can put them on Tifa. Like, if she gets wiped, I can just move those counters to other creatures. I've also decided to add things that, like, destroy my own lands and then I can replay those lands from my graveyard in case the game does exceed a certain amount of time. 2, I have started to implement things that destroy my own lands, and then I can replay them from the graveyard if needed to in case the game does exceed a certain amount of time. I'm also looking at other avenues into such as cutting back on certain creatures that give mana, since this deck has a fair amount of it going around already with the amount of lands I can play, and probably try to add like better creatures just as backup plans just in case Tifa just inevitably isn't useful in the deck during a game. And I guess the biggest glaring issue is that this card, or more so this deck, is capped out doing it to being a green deck. Of course I could introduce other colors to this deck, but that seems like a lot more work than what it's worth, especially with Tifa just being green. And then speaking of color decks, I think the most fun deck building I've had in a while was building the commander deck my cousin got me. You see, he got me a Y'shtola Precon deck, and upgrading her has been a very fun time, but also very challenging. Because she is a multicolored commander, it makes the avenues exploring to put cards in very easy and very fun to use, because my options are well more versed than if it's just green. The issue is I'm still new to this. I've added cards or thought of strategies while playing that just don't make sense and don't end up working because I overthink it a lot. Like, oh, I could have thought this card would have worked better, but it ends up being a dud. I may still be new to Magic the Gathering, and I may not understand the game to a full scale like most people out there, but I'm really having a blast doing the deck building aspect of it. Or just looking to decks that I may want to try to build in the future, because man, it is kind of expensive to build decks, especially decent level decks. So it's going to be far in between when I build decks, but I just like looking at the cards and seeing how the counters will work or thinking of strategies to use them. Deck building for me is just a general fun time that I spend some time doing. I'm not in tune with a lot of TCG tournaments or anything, but I just watch them from time to time, and it always really fascinates me to watch them. Wondering why a certain person put X card there in their deck or why they played such and such card now. To see it be pulled off is a sight to see. I feel like it helps me better understand my own deck building skills, but also helps me think outside the box a little more. Especially when it comes to strategies, whether that's with card games or even playing games in general. This is the end of the video, and this video will probably be just a one-off topic video because it's just something I wanted to talk about and just put it out there because I wanted to talk about it. And kind of want to express my love for deck building and how I love just strategies and stuff like that, and more so exploring the inner workings of it, or at least y'all can kind of get insight into how I see it. I hope you all have a great and safe rest of your day. Please drink water, stretch, posture check, and always remember you are important. To the next one, I will see you all later.